Why would God make people gay in the first place?
Well, of course I would say it comes from God. If I didn't believe that, then I wouldn't be Christian.
Why would God make people gay
Well,
if he didn't want them to engage in gay sex?
Hello. Joe Rogan brings up a very interesting point. Why would God make homosexuality if it was bad? Why would God make gays? Well, what if God was not the one who made it? He made a reality, a very difficult reality that perpetuates suffering. He made this reality with consistent rules. And because of our own fallen nature, homosexuality was a natural fruition throughout that process. We have free will. We came down here and we're not supposed to be of this world. That's what God wants. He doesn't want us to be of this world. He wants us to be of the spirit. But because we came down to this world, we became more like it. That's the problem. What could this essentially mean? Well, to survive and reproduce, those are the base drives for all organisms, all living creatures, to survive and reproduce, and things that help you survive as a species were reinforced. Thus, the second-born is statistically more likely to be homosexual than the firstborn. Why could this be? Competing with resources. You don't want them competing with resources. And on top of that, if there are a bunch of men who can't find mates, they're probably going to be more violent if something doesn't nourish their lack of connection. And so, through attraction, through lust, through temptation, they mitigated much of that violence ensued by mates who could not find females. And they no longer competed for resources and females with the firstborn the same way. That makes a lot of sense. Now, consider this as well. Lust is a very dumb emotion. Lust is stupid. Why would you have a child, someone you have to be responsible for, someone you may have to give a large portion, if not your life for? Why would you have a child out of lust? A surface level feeling. That's what lust is. It's seeking surface level gratification. You see something, oh, that's a nice shape. I really want to hit that. You know, it's really dumb. And you don't think about a child when you have these emotions. Well, the reason why you would have lust in a world that is survival and reproduction is because you'd increase the volume of children being created by beings who are typically better genetically. Better genetically, having more children. And even though you can't take care of all those children have to figure out a way to make that work. What does it essentially do? More children will die, more children end up in the wrong direction, more children will not reproduce, but you're more likely to have children that will reproduce because there's just a greater volume of children being created. That's what lust does. It's stupid. It's very dumb. But what does that innately do? Why is it a sin? It's because it cheapens life. When you create a volume of children opposed to just nurturing the one that you have been given, you cheapen that child. You cheapen it. You don't want to procreate on volume. You want to procreate on love, believing the potential of the individual, having compassion for their suffering, encouraging them throughout it, loving them, trusting that they'll manifest to the peak of who they can be if you're there to support them. If you can't reach that ideal, you just show up anyways and just hope they become more of what they could be, the magic you see in them, because that's what you see when you have love. You see the core of who they are. You see a spark of it, and you want to bring that out. You want to bring that magic out. Love brings magic out into this universe, the children it creates. Lust creates a volume, cheapening the individual child through that volume. Now, why is this important? It goes to show that reality will create things that don't work towards the glory of God, because that's what God wants. He wants us to create children for His glory. Homosexuality cannot produce children. They're more likely to spread diseases, and it's predicated predominantly on attraction. Attraction is not the key. Attraction is of this world. You're supposed to be of the Spirit. You're supposed to go with someone that resonates with you, someone who is brought to you, someone who is brought to you by God. And whether you believe that or not, I know it's possible because I've had a really interesting life. I'm a schizophrenic, and I have got I have they call themselves gods. I don't know what to call it. And I will say I've been brought, there's no other way to describe it. I've been brought women. I've been brought them. It's hard to believe. I'm not going to get into it. You don't have to believe me. This is just my perspective on the matter. And they say I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But what I will say is I have a personal experience that does reinforce proclivity for magic. I do believe in magic. And yeah, you don't have to believe me. I don't care. And that's beside the point. Ooh, that took a weird tangent. I hope Joe Rogan takes this video seriously.